side of the city, it looks like. And let's put that. Do we see anything on the shear product yet, or anything?
I'm just kind of pulsing through this, and yeah, there it is, and the shear detection, and it's mainly in the upper levels. Close to the ground, we're actually not seeing the best, but it is very close. The storm rooted to the ground, so that's the concern here.
Yeah, and there it is, right along 235, and then moving off to the northeast. So moving right through the city here, and right through the heart of the city, heading up in toward the Mixmaster area, and that's what we're looking at. And this tornado warning. Again, coming after a very long day, and we had hoped that we would not have another warning, but this has happened, and here we go. We're still doing this.
Yeah, and there's a strong signal for actually a bit of a downburst too. I'll go ahead and pull the scope up. This is just north of 3580 there. So southeast of Johnston, and so often tonight we've been talking about the couplets and the direction the wind's going. So in this instance, the red's going that way, the green is going that way. That's a signal that the wind is rushing down and then fanning out as it hits the ground, and that would correspond very closely to being directly underneath that rain as it's falling. So that's an additional concern here too, is some very strong wind likely coming through along with that tornado threat that lies just a little bit further to the south, closer into the heart of Des Moines.
Yeah, and the latest scans are not as good on my rotational product now, but when it was issued, it was definitely looking more pronounced, but you might be right. It might be more of a wind threat, hopefully, but...
well, there's a little bit of a disconnect on where that rotation is, just something I saw and wanted to point out for you.
So again, our tornado warning has been issued, and it's going to be for Altoona and Bondurant and Des Moines. All of you are in the path of this storm and the potential of a tornado. Again, not confirmed, and just radar indicated the potential for a tornado in this area.
So we're looking around the East Mixmaster, wouldn't you say, at this point, to the south? A little convoluted on exactly where we're looking at this point.
It's hard to discern. It really is. It's close to the radar, and it's also not a well-established storm like the others were. But yeah, it depends how high you go up in the atmosphere, but it's hard to discern anything right now.
Might be trying to get its act together a little bit right here as I'm checking out the lowest levels.
Yeah.
This would be a convergence signal, and sometimes they can start to rotate around. And we showed you kind of going up through the atmosphere how it's actually starting to rotate a little bit. I'll try to pull that back into view too. It takes just a second to get there. But now I'm going up through the atmosphere, and notice now it's that shearing effect as it not only goes up through the atmosphere, but it kind of translates itself northwards, and that will correspond to the updraft feeding into it. So down near the surface is closer to the 235 area, probably East 14th area, and moving to the northeast with time.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, I'm just a little bewildered by this, but it is south of Ankeny and between Ankeny and Des Moines. The strongest rotation to me is.
If you are in that warned area, especially the east side of Des Moines, I'd say east of downtown, seek shelter. That would include Pleasant Hill area. We have a lot of people out, emergency response right now, especially around the eastern sections of the metro, assessing trees and power lines down and damage across these areas. So a lot of people out right now. You need to be going indoors seeking shelter for possible tornado. And I think right around the East Mixer right now is where that threat, the greatest threat would be.
I would say so too,
juncture.
Yeah. That seems to be the most likely. And honestly, it's unimpressive to me, but we're going to keep it on and keep everybody safe just in case. But this is not the worst thing we've seen tonight, that's for sure.
No, and we did see kind of that, the TVS is what we call it, and it's kind of the analog in the programs we're using that is kind of tipping the hat here that, hey, there's something going on. And initially it started up high with this one and it's trying to work its way down to the ground. I'm just off camera here trying to pulse through some of the data at our disposal here as I'm driving, trying to really pinpoint where this is. So this is going to be right around the East Mixer at this point.
Kind of headed toward the Berwick area, maybe?
Yeah, exactly, and heading towards Bondurant and up Highway 330.
Yeah. So there you have it. That's the cell we're watching right now. It is my hope and my belief that this will not last the entire time, but we'll see.
We'd all like a break from severe weather, I think.
Yeah, it has been a long night. There's another cell we've been watching in Clark County, and that's the one we actually thought would maybe become warned, but that is a strong storm still down in Clark County.
Exactly. Should we go down and show just a little bit about it, just so everyone's caught up on it?
I think so. It's rotating. It's strong. It's in southern Iowa.
We'll throw a quick scope on it. This is near Murray, and there is some rotation associated with this one as it's moving to the north and east as well, right around 45 miles per hour. So this one will be nearing closer to New Virginia with time, St. Charles area, should it continue to hold.
And of course, Osceola was hit earlier with a tornado that, Chris, you helped with that report, right?
Yeah, now confirmation that tornado did happen in Osceola. I've seen some pictures showing debris being stirred up, and we have confirmation of tree damage, power line damage across especially the western side of town, I believe, at this point. But right now the threat is nearing Bondurant, coming out of, say, the Ankeny area. You get down towards the Corporate Woods area near I-35. That's where it is. And it kind of gets convoluted, Brad, sometimes when we're so close to the radar. It's tough to see that structure that we're so used to seeing.
We can go up higher, and then you see a little bit more, and then it's further back near the Berwick area. It's moving at 50 miles per hour, so this one's picking up some speed compared to the other ones.
Yeah, should we put another track on things here? I'll update the speed on it, and we'll get it out and discuss it. I'm even gonna have to zoom out a little bit from here. I'm just not within the scope of seeing it. So it's riding right along the north edge of that tornado warning. It's going to pop up several communities way on down the line, but immediately of concern, Bondurant, it will be in your area around 11:19, and then continue to move up towards Baxter at 11:41 with time. So you can see that hook starting to come around now as this kind of departs the cone being up close to that radar site there north of Johnston. Brad? So
we are watching this warning, again, issued just a few minutes ago, and it's supposed to go till 11:45. We'll see if it makes it. It may outrun the warning area because it is moving at 50 miles per hour right now, and it's kind of toward the edge of the warning area right now. So this kind of maybe caught some people off guard because it kind of developed right close to the radar and also over the Des Moines area. Again, nothing confirmed. It's radar indicated. And we'll have to keep an eye on it, though. It definitely had some of the, some of the signatures of a storm that produces tornadoes. It definitely had that. So it probably warranted a tornado warning, but right now it's not looking as good for tornado development, which is great news. But we'll keep an eye on it here. Again, it's probably north of the Berwick area, which is kind of on the edge of Ankeny almost, between Berwick and Ankeny.
And Bondurant, getting close to there as well.
Heading for Bondurant.
So there is a lot of rural area, but it's being incorporated now between the two cities. So it is building up. There is a concern there that we're seeing. This is radar indicated tornado, and you can see the bit of a hook that's coming out of this. So the wind is rushing out of the thunderstorm right here where I have my arrow, and inbound right here coming in from Bondurant. It'd be running basically between Ankeny and Bondurant right now. I forget which county highway that is, but there's one that completes the circuit. I believe it's Orr-Labor that goes between the two. That'd be about where the threat is, halfway between Ankeny and Bondurant at the moment.
Yeah. So this is our only storm right now with a warning. There is still a strong storm down in just northwest of Osceola, and you folks have had a long night in Osceola, no doubt about that. And really, southwest Iowa's been hit hard in Union County and Clark County, and you still have a strong storm down there. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. It's actually, in some ways, stronger than the one here in Polk County. But we do still have that warning going on, and I'm looking for data, looking for anything that would suggest that it's
Yeah, same. And of course, we're sampling more than just what we're showing you on air right now, too. So if ever the radar kind of goes silent on you, we're data digging. We're trying to analyze things and pass along that latest information to you. The tornado warning has been continued in the last 5 minutes, so we're still seeing the threat demon deemed by the National Weather Service to continue this threat. Again, if you are in the Bondurant area and need to continue to seek shelter for a possible tornado. And this appears to be riding kind of right along the northern edge of this warned area. I would also include places like Elkhart and up just north of Highway 65 at this point, and Highway 330. Are we hearing sirens again?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
It might just be from earlier, though. I mean, it's obviously it's clear from the Des Moines area.
Well, yeah,
proper.
And we're in West Des Moines as well, so that's why I was a little bit surprised
really
to be
odd,
hearing that. So if you are in West Des Moines, I'm not seeing a threat that is you need to heed in case you're hearing those warning sirens right now. The threat is more into the northeastern section of the metro towards Bondurant and moving to the north and east with time. A little bit of a convergence signal, but that's how they get going, Brad. And I'm not going to try to sample the upper atmosphere here on Max, but I know we've been doing it a bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at let's see, how high is this? 9,000 feet, and there's a donut there. There's rotation there, but it's 9,000 feet. So
how about CC as we go up with height? Or I don't know. Probably not. I would guess we'd be seeing it at the surface too, though, if there was something. So.
But I definitely rotating aloft. So it's a supercell.
Yes.
It's rotating, and even at certain height. Well, I just got an update, so let's see what we have there. I mean, there's kind of a hookish element to it, especially at 4,000 feet. But again, that's where the rotation is. It's in the above the ground mostly.
Right, so we're translating north of Orlabor up through about the Ankney's First Street as it extends to the east, and I'm sure it changes names by the time it gets out towards Bondurant, but it's continuing to move up to the north and east with time. So you see the crossroads here. That's 94th Ave and 72nd Street. That's about where that threat is at the moment, continuing to move to the north and east with time. So continuing on, we have Farrar up there too, and a couple of unincorporated communities, Clyde and Loring and Mingo is a larger community. You need to be prepared for a possible tornado headed your way. No confirmation of anything on the ground at this point, but we're still going to be watching things very closely.
Yep, and again, if we were alarmed, if we saw something, we'd let you know. But right now, I'm not seeing anything, Chris. I'm just being honest.
No, not at the surface. We're seeing it in the upper levels, but at the surface, we're not. And that's why we're warning it could extend down.
Yep.
And that's the concern here. Good news is we're really close to the radar sites. We have a good view of it, at least virtually, as we're looking at the data here. And it's not quite showing it, but it can happen. I don't want anyone to be complacent, especially after the night that we just endured. Several long-track tornadoes across Nebraska and Iowa, even a couple hitting hard into the metro here tonight. Union County, Creston hit hard up into the northern part of the county, south of Creston, east of Creston, just down into Union County. It was a messy, messy night tonight. Also, since we last talked, there was confirmation of a tornado down in Mount Ayr earlier tonight. So that would be off that storm that eventually impacted Osceola with the tornado, and the last one prior to this one that we went on with closer to the Newton and Monroe areas. So still a little bit of shear detection here around the Bondurant area. And it is a supercell. You can see that hook coming down through it, but at this point, things are hopefully behaving. We hope that's continuing to be the case, but this is the wind that's rushing down out of the thunderstorm out of it. And then this weaker echo region is the updraft, spinning right up Highway 65 and 330 at the moment.
Yeah, so we'll continue to watch it just to be safe. It's moving out of the warning area pretty soon, it looks like.
I have some old velocity data.
Yeah, I'm just calling balls and strikes here because I am a meteorologist and I just don't see anything there, at least at the lower 3,000 feet. So I'm not too concerned of it right now.
It's a little messy in the current situation, but yeah, we're still watching northeast of Bondurant and looking at the radar data. You can clearly see where that hook region is, and that would be that classic zone at which we're watching for that to happen. Is it just me, or did the warning go away? I think it did.
They did. They just canceled the tornado warning.
There we go. That's good news, of course.
It's a ball.
Things still
swing and a miss.
Things are still they can be problematic, especially that southern end down towards Osceola and Clark County. We'll be watching that for you very closely as we go through time.
All right, so we will continue to watch it here. The watch goes until midnight. We're almost to midnight, but things should be quieting down here relatively soon. We'll keep an eye on things here at Local 5. Thanks for watching us. Back to programming.